All right.
Are we good?
Yep, we're good.
Hi, I'm Becky. I'm one of the keepers here at the Pueblo Zoo, and with me today, this is Abhi. He is a PSL, or a Pygmy Soloris. These guys are native to Borneo and Vietnam and Indonesia. And what I'm feeding him are wax worms. So we have wax worms that they like, so they're insect eaters. So out in the wild, they catch crickets and grasshoppers, anything that climbs around in the trees because they live in the trees. These guys out in the wild do have issues with deforestation and habitat loss. They're also very common in the pet trade. On websites and stuff, you'll see people tickling PSLs. And what that is when they tickle a PSL, it actually makes their arms go up. This is not a good behavior for a PSL. It's actually a threat pose. PSLs are actually one of the only known venomous primates in the world. So when they actually put their hands up in the air, they actually get closer to their venom gland that's on the inside of their elbow. And it makes them where they can lick their venom gland and potentially bite who's ever threatening them. So this tickling behavior that you see on the websites and on the internet are just something that isn't very nice to do to a PSL. It actually makes them scared and makes them do this threat pose. You'll also see them in pet trades in little dresses or holding umbrellas. And this, because they have big eyes and they're super cute, that's one reason that people like to dress them up and look at them with different things. As wildlife experts, we recommend people not to take pictures with wild animals. It actually promotes this pet trade out in the wild. Today, Abby is just out here getting to see you guys and eat some snacks. As you can see, he does have big eyes and he's super cute, but if I was to get into his space or even threaten him in any ways, he can actually turn very mean. They do a lot of vocalizations when they're threatened, or they'll even roll up in a defense ball. And when they get in this defense ball, they'll actually start licking the venom on their elbows and get it all up in their saliva and start licking it on them. So if you were to bite them, or a predator was to bite them, they would get venom just by attacking a PSL. And if you can see when he opens up his mouth, he has very sharp teeth. That's another way that he can inject his venom into prey and potential predators. They have something called comb teeth, which just makes it where all their teeth are attached to one big tooth, which makes them also super sharp.
In the pet trade, do they remove the venom glands?
So unfortunately, in the pet trade, there's no way to remove the venom glands, so instead they actually remove their teeth. So when PSLs go into the pet trade, they usually will cut out their teeth or pull out their teeth. And that way they have no way to get it into the skin of something.
What is their average lifespan?
So in captivity, we can get them up to about 15 years. In the wild, it's more like 7 to 8 years. They have a lot of big predators out in their natural habitat. One of them, surprisingly, is being orangutans. Also hawks, snakes. They're small enough for a snake. Any kind of lizard, big lizard, any kind of meat-eating animal. Because so these guys are nocturnal. One reason that they do have big eyes. They sit in a tree all day, so if a predator was to come across them, they're small and vulnerable. One defense mechanism that they have for that is the fact that they're all brown. So during the day, they actually roll up in a really tight ball, and all you can see is this brown coloration. And so they blend in with their surroundings, so hopefully the predator would just walk right past them. One other thing is you'll notice their big eyes. They also have a night shine in their eyes, so if it was pitch black in here and we shine a light in here, you would be able to see a shine on their eyes. That's common for nocturnal animals. It lets them reflect the moonlight into their eyes to be able to see better.
And how old are these two?
So Abhi is, I want to say he's like 6 years old. The female that he's actually sitting in that little hammock is about 12 years old. These guys are a breeding pair here at the zoo. So we are hoping to get babies from them. Our female being on the older side, there is a chance that we might not get babies from her, but the SSP, who's the person that decides what PSLs breed with what PSLs, has decided that they're a good match and that they could potentially have babies.
And did you already touch on, like, are they endangered? Like, what's their status?
So these guys are not completely endangered. They are considered vulnerable, and that is because of tree loss and because of the pet trade. They have a lot of things going against them. So the world is getting bigger and more people need places to live. So deforestation is probably a really big thing. And then of course, because they're so cute and cuddly, everyone wants them in a house. I do recommend never to have a primate in your house. When people don't realize is that primates are gross. A lot of them tend to scent mark a lot. So what they'll do is they'll actually urinate on their hands, and when they walk around, they touch everything with those dirty hands. And you know, our animals don't bathe, so they have a grease to them, and it's a form of protection that most of them have. So they have a grease to them, so when they walk around, it's more like a scent. So these guys have like scent glands on the bottom of their feet, so when they walk along the branches, their scents go all over the place.
His face is like you're outing all of my secrets,
Just all of them.
for everybody. And how long have these two been here?
So we've had Abhi and Padma for, I want to say 3 years now. We got them 6 months before our rainforest opened.
And if they're a breeding pair and then they don't end up having babies, do they rotate?
That's not up to me. There is a chance that they could be shipped out and a different female could come in for him or a different male could come in for him. But the SSP actually decides. So these are an SSP animal, and what that means is they go through a species survival plan coordinator, and she decides the genetics in captivity, and who gets to breed with who and who can produce the best genetics. And we do this as a zoo because eventually there might be a chance that we would have to put something back out in the wild, and we want the best genetics in captive environments so that if we needed to put animals back out in the wild, we have the best genetics for them out in the wild.
Is breeding slow lorises in zoos fairly successful, or is it rough?
It goes back and forth on that. So some zoos have had great success and some zoos haven't. Pueblo Zoo, we've had success in past Loris couples. It's been at least 10 years since we've had a successful birth, maybe even longer than that. And then there are some zoos that have housed Solorises forever and have never reproduced. I have heard that it depends on environment. So if there's too many noises, too many distractions, that could produce them not being able to breed. There was a successful birth, I want to say, in a California zoo that they actually had their Solorises off exhibit, and they bred better off exhibit away from like the public and loud noises and other animals. And
How many babies do they usually have, one at a time, or?
one at a time. Sometimes they can have two, of course, but most likely they have one. What's really cool about these primates is they do something called parking. So they'll actually park their baby in a spot and go off foraging and then come back and grab baby, where most primates have their babies on them 24/7. So in zoos, there's been issues with them thinking that they've abandoned their baby when really they've just parked their infant.
Thought we were gonna see his girlfriend, but now he has stopped.
Where's your girlfriend? Is she in there?
Just sitting on her, eating all her worms.
Yeah, just rude. I know that's her paw.
And did they both come in together at the same time?
Yep,
or-
so they came from the same zoo. That zoo had multiple loris pairs, so they didn't need another pair, so they sent us a pair because we had an opening for a pair. This exhibit that they're in is actually brand new. We've actually never housed a Soloris in this. We actually made this exhibit specially for them. So we put the branches and hung hammocks in here. We have special hanging food bowls for them. They get a bigger window to the rainforest. It looks like it's now time.
I know, he's full now.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much.
Yeah.
This was awesome. And I hope that you have good luck with future slow lures biz.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Bye.